niggas still lying on tracks and shit. Talking about packs and what they got and how they doing this, man. They know this shipping move shit. Professional. Fam, gone far, nigga. It's the same thing. Rapper say slum king. Rapper lying, he ain't never slung a fucking thing. I rap about it, cause guys that did, I really moved it. And I got stacks on stacks. My nigga to prove it. Move down. Blizz got him. Fam, click top of the line. What's up, partner? That ain't no hustle with that gump town grind. Rappers lie all the time in their rhymes. Shit's real, like the canaries in my grill. Your pockets ain't real, how that real money is. Nah, you ain't at the club, you ain't at the mall, you ain't skating the boulevard, Rams tall.
That's me.
Trunk full of work, Ruger on my lap.
Blunt full of perk, piffy.
Steady count stacks. So if we have a problem,
Play your position.
Get your bread up, whoa, pay attention. Say your hustle won't, I can't see it. Say he got G's, I don't believe it.
Where them stacks? How we doing? I gotta welcome y'all to an early edition of That's My Take. I am your host, Nug the narrator. Before we get right into it, as always, I want to thank all my viewers, all my subscribers, and my subscribers. Tell a friend to subscribe to the channel, man. It ain't costing a dime. It ain't costing nothing but a little bit of your time to hit that subscribe and like button, bro. Real talk, bro. What we do here is I give my takes on world news, U.S. news, hip-hop and entertainment news, sports news, give you a little history, and also go leave you with a story that's kind of weird but true. I can't make this shit up news. Let's get right into it. As always, we gonna start off with world news. Search and rescue operations underway after U.S. Special Operations aircraft crashes off the coast of Japan. The aircraft, an Air Force CV-22B Osprey assigned to the 353rd Special Operations Wing, was carrying 8 airmen when it experienced an aircraft mishap during a routine training mission. According to Air Force Special Operations Command, a spokesman for the Japanese Coast Guard told CNN at least one person was killed in the crash. Though U.S. officials have not confirmed that information, the status of the crew is unknown. A U.S. military officer told CNN Wednesday morning that family notifications of the crash were ongoing. Emergency personnel are on scene conducting search and rescue operations, Air Force Special Operations Command said in a release. And I quote, "The cause of the mishap is currently unknown," unquote. The Japanese Coast Guard was notified of the crash at roughly 2:47 p.m. local time, the spokesman said. Since the crash, the government of Japan's Okinawa prefecture has requested to ground all Ospreys on the island chain, though the U.S. military official said no stand down has been ordered thus far. All right, real quick, obviously, condolences to anybody that lost their life in that mishap. And I think, it was one person that was killed in that crash. Definitely want to send our condolences out to them. And also, when you're dealing with military, you in another sense, you're dealing with life and death. And this is just a case of that. It said it was a mishap, but someone lost their life. So again, we are giving out condolences as we move on to the next world news subject. All right. We got some protesters against copper mine deal turned deadly in Panama. Anti-mining protests have been brawling in Panama for the last 2 weeks and turned deadly on Tuesday when a man allegedly shot and killed 2 demonstrators, according to police. A chilling video posted by bystanders on X, formerly known as Twitter, showed an elderly man apparently frustrated with the logjam trying to force the protesters to remove a barrier blocking the Pan American Highway about 50 miles south of the capital before pulling out a pistol and opening fire. Panama's National Police later said they arrested the suspected gunman at the scene of the shooting. The unusual scene of violence is the latest flashpoint in some of the largest protests to hit the Central American nation since the Panamanian flooded the streets in masses to demonstrate against the dictatorship of Manuel Noriega in the 1980s. For weeks, tens of thousands of protesters have vented their fury with a controversial mining contract given to Panama, the local subsidiary of a Canadian mining company that extract copper, the key component in electric car batteries. Real quick, my take is yes, we seeing how popular electric cars are, so of course they need copper. They're going to find ways to get that copper. This is just one of the side effects of capitalism, just being real. If there is a need, they will find a way to get it. Copper is, like they said, one of the major components in electric car batteries. The electric car battery is pretty much the heart and soul of the electric vehicle. The electric vehicle is on pace to at least try its best to you know, perform gas cars, and with the legal stuff on its side, I think by like 2036, they trying to do away with combustible engines in California. I can't say that. So the country will follow. So by like 2050, if we still around, you might see a majority of electric versus gas cars. So definitely they're going to be, trying to get copper and the natural resources that they need. People on the other side, protesters, well, protesters protest, and some protesters violently protest, as we seen with that gunman there in Panama. Definitely send out condolences to the person he shot and killed, because they did say turned deadly in Panama. We definitely want to send out condolences and prayers their way. Moving on. The death of Henry Kissinger on Wednesday saw the loss of a diplomat China has long considered a trusted friend. With China's foreign ministry on Thursday hailing the former American Secretary of State as a pioneer and architect of China-U.S. relations for his central role in the establishment of bilateral ties. Paying tribute to the late statesman during a regular press briefing, ministry spokesman Wang Webin said the Chinese people, and I quote, will remember Dr. Kissinger's sincere devotion and important contributions to China-U.S. relations, unquote. Kissinger's death was also mourned on Chinese social media Thursday, where his passing became the top trending topic on heavily moderated microblogging website Weibo with more than 400 million views. And I quote, farewell, farewell, old friend of the Chinese people, said a top comment with thousands of likes. I quote, the person who started a period of history has finally become history. Another comment said, considered a highly influential but controversial figure in the U.S. and around the world, Kissinger is highly regarded in China for his role laying the groundwork for the formation of diplomatic relations between Beijing and Washington, a critical and highly consequential step in the country's re-engagement, with the world. Definitely sending condolences to Henry Kissinger. In history and in politics, he was a titan. And obviously, the country of China saw him as a dear friend and saying their goodbyes publicly. And yeah, we're going to give our condolences. I do know that China and U.S. have trade partnerships that equal tons of billions of dollars just in raw goods, not alone electronics. But hey, we got to see what history will decide about that relationship, because some people think America is too tied in with China and vice versa. So, history will dictate that. We go get away from the world news and get into the U.S. news next. And again, before we continue, I want to thank my viewers and subscribers taking y'all time. What's up, Shotty? What's up? Yeah, I'm early, bro. Look, I figured I was going to come on early and just do a little study and survey and see, what certain times do in terms of viewers, subscribers, and eyes on me. So I said, it's Friday. I got a lot going on. I'm going to knock a show out early instead of knocking all the work shit out and doing the show late. just to see. I'm just, checking different times. Around the world right now at 11 is a different time than, at night. I could be at night live and most of the people might be asleep who might want to look at, what I'm saying? That's my take. So we just experiment with the times. And again, with us being independent in our own body, we could go on shit whenever we want. And our whole thing about twice a week is to not be monotonous and not have a schedule. That's the whole thing about that. And again, I think I came at y'all Monday night. Now it's Friday, some shit like that. Who knows when I'll be back, but within 7 days, you will see me and hear me twice. And again, Shadi, thank you, my brother. It's always fam. And that's forever amongst made men, forever about making money. Without them, there would be no me. Moving on to U.S. news. 3 people killed in explosion at Ohio auto shop. Firefighters in Highland County were dispatched to an explosion and a fire at the shop around 4 p.m. Tuesday. Paint Creek Joint Fire EMS Chief David M. said it definitely did rock and shake the area. We can feel it all the way at the firehouse, which is about 4 to 5 blocks away. One person also was taken to a hospital following the fire, WKRC reported. The fire marshal's office said at the scene investigating Tuesday morning, there was no reported damage to surrounding structures. Highland County is in southern Ohio, about 65 miles east of Cincinnati. I don't know. When I read the story and was doing my research, and obviously 3 people killed in explosion at Ohio auto shop, that really caught my attention. So as always, we're sending our condolences, but we just question what was up with this explosion. Like, you don't get too many explosions at auto shops. So again, it was just something that caught my attention in U.S. news. Like the next story, as we move on. The Iowa Lottery posted the wrong Powerball numbers this week, and players who cashed in got to keep their winnings. This week, the Iowa Lottery made payouts to its lucky Powerball winners, along with some lucky losers. Thanks to a reporting error that led to incorrect winning numbers being posted on the state's website. The lottery mistakenly posted incorrect winning numbers for Monday's Powerball game online. During the roughly 7 hours it took to correct the mistake, players with matching numbers were able to come forward and cash in on the incorrect numbers for prizes ranging from $4 to $200. The Iowa Lottery streams the Powerball drawings live on its website every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. 2 people in different locations then enter results from the drawings before they are recorded on the lottery's website. This week's drawing was conducted correctly, but some of the results were entered incorrectly, according to the post on the lottery's blog. The incorrect numbers went live on the statewide gaming system and the Iowa Lottery website Tuesday around 12:30 a.m. and remained it up until about 7:15 a.m. By 3:30 p.m., the corrected numbers was posted and the lottery resumed cashing the correct winning tickets as well. This may seem like I can't make this shit up story, but yes, when you're dealing with anything that a human is involved in, you will have human error. I like to always preference and let y'all know that I am a full-time real estate agent, but this podcast will never be directly or indirectly about real estate, ever. But with that being said, obviously I deal in new builds and new houses are brand new and build, but also still have problems that need to be corrected because there's no perfection in the human being with their hands on whatever it is. And in this case, it was a lottery. And I'm happy to report that the lottery mistakenly posted the incorrect numbers, and the people who had them incorrect numbers still got paid off, even though it was from like $4 to $200, which was little. To me, it's still a win for the little guy. So I definitely wanted to shed a little light on that story. I thought it was a nice story. You know, I'm not here to. And before I go to the next story, let me jump off on a small tangent. I am not here for clickbait. I am not here to be your Insta friend. I'm not here to beg you to fuck with me. Nah, that was probably one of my worst attributes is being a rap artist. I never liked the kiss ass, hug the babies, political shit with anything surrounding rap or my talent or the talent of my group. With that being said, I enjoy doing what I do on this here podcast, and I like everything. I want to experience growth. Growth is something that doesn't happen instantly, it happens over time. So, with that being said, like planting a seed in your backyard, that next day you may not see much happening, but that next week you may see a little something coming up out the dirt. And the week after that, a little more. And a week after that, a little more. And what I'm getting at is I would like for you to subscribe. I would like for you to not only view and enjoy and get a little value and entertainment out what I do here, but at the same time, if you don't, I do not lose sleep. I'm a natural insomniac. Like, no biggie there. Back to the U.S. news. FedEx worker dies in an accident at the shipping's giant Memphis hub. The worker was injured while working on Wednesday and was taken to a hospital in critical condition, the Memphis Police Department said in a statement. The worker died at the hospital. Police did not immediately release the identity of the worker, how the worker was hurt, and what type of injuries the worker received. Memphis-based FedEx released a statement saying it was investigating the incident. We extend our deepest, in quotations, we extend our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who are mourning their loved one, the company's statement said. FedEx employs about 30,000 people in Memphis. 2 employees were killed in accidents, in 2022 at the Memphis hub as well. A lot of death in this show, and again, I'm not here for like sensationalism. And I'm not here for if it bleed, it leads, and I'm not here for the wildest stories go catch y'all attention and have y'all fucking with me, and I'm gonna get advertising dollars and everything will be great. Nah, I'm here, like I say, because I like doing what I do. But with that being said, our condolences definitely go out to the FedEx worker that lost his life on the job. Obviously, it's troubling to hear that an accident, or on the job accident, taking the life of someone. And we hope that the company does investigate like they say they're doing and understand that they could correct whatever the issue was moving forward, and hopefully nobody else have to pass away in such a manner. Moving on to our last U.S. story of the day. Oklahoma executes man who claims self-defense in a 2001 double killing. Yes, we're still on killing and murder. I mean, these are the stories I pulled. But again, I'm not here for sensationalism. I'm here to give y'all a couple of segments, some entertainment, and leave y'all with a little value. Pretty much. Oklahoma executed a man Thursday for a double killing in 2001. Despite his claims of self-defense and the board's clemency recommendation that the governor waited until the last minute to reject. Philip D.H., 59, received a 3-drug lethal injection at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary for the killings of Robert J. and James L. and was declared dead at 11:29 a.m. His execution went forward once Republican Governor Kevin Sith declined to commute his sentence. In quotation marks, I can't imagine the anxiety that Philip Hand must have felt as Governor Sith again waited until beyond the last minute to reject clemency. The Reverend Don H., chair of the Oklahoma Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty, said in a statement. Stitt said in a statement issued hours after the execution that he made his decision after thorough review and noted that H also had claimed self-defense in a previous killing. The statement did not directly address why Sid's decision was delayed until after execution scheduled time of 10 a.m. The execution did not begin until after 11 a.m. H long claimed that he shot and killed J, 37, and L, 58, in self-defense after the two men attacked him inside J's home in South Oklahoma City. Wow. A female witness said J ordered H to get inside a large cage before swinging a metal bar at him. After J and L attacked him, his attorney said H managed to take J's pistol from him and shot them both. I am never for the death penalty in no way, shape, or form. I don't feel no human has the right to give another human death, because that too will also be murder, whether it's legal or illegal in my eyes. Everyone has different opinion on this subject. It's a very controversial subject, and obviously the person behind this death sentence has already been executed, so it's not much we can do now. But again, briefly give you, a little insight on his situation, what happened. And like they said, he had two people at him and he managed to get away and kill both of them. But by them being members of the outlaw motorcycle gangs, that stuff didn't really, I guess, look good in the courts. They say bad people do bad things, good people do good things, strange people do strange things, sometimes for change. But we want to definitely extend our condolences. Definitely want to let all my viewers and subscribers know Nug is not for the death penalty. I don't feel a human could tell another human, or 12 humans could dictate another human's death. I think that's godly, and we are not on that level as human beings. Just my opinion. We're going to move on to hip hop and entertainment news. Before we actually move on to hip hop and entertainment news, I did want to mention a couple of things that's been on my mind heavy lately and in my life. It is true that around 17, 18, I put out my last, I think I put out some stuff after that. I can't remember. But anyway, I did use the word retirement. I am a retired former rap artist. But with that being said, while in retirement and away from doing what I love, the passion not only is back, but it is a fire that's burning inside of me to not only put out one more project, but to also capstone my career in its entirety as much as I can with the help of my trusted engineer. I would like to develop and present to the world through my distributors at DistroKid. I'm still actively distributing music. You can find my music just searching any of my rap names on any of these streaming sites and services. But I know I'm not a big household name, so that's not relevant. What's relevant to me is the next project. In the next project, we're also encompass 100 of my best verses or so. And I say or so because it's going to be a thumb drive of my greatest verses, along with a new EP that I am at current writing and getting organized and shopping for beats. So if y'all know any producers out there, that's not charging an arm and a leg for some good hip hop beats, y'all can send them my way. My email is always in the description. But yeah, I want to do it one more time, just kind of like wrap everything up. And I do want to not just put out monotonous old music that I know is still hits and fire, but I want to go back in the booth and maybe do 10 to 15 songs and pick out the hot 6 and do an EP and title it Wearing the 4-5, because I am 45 and I feel like I'm wearing it nice. Jordan came back wearing the 4-5, hence the title. And yes, I will be actively recording. I'll do some shorts while I'm in the studio so y'all could kind of follow me through that process. And I believe January is when I'll actually start, and I'm booked for studio time. And we go crank out some music and see what we come up with. That's what I've been doing majority of my life. That's what I love to do. And hey, one more project. Shit. It'll be out there for all to see. Hopefully by May. That's the goal. So in hip hop and entertainment news, prosecutors allege Young Thug is proclaimed leader of a criminal street gang. Opening statements in the racketeering trial of hip hop star Young Thug began Monday, with prosecutors alleging that the Grammy winning rapper is a co founder and proclaimed leader of an alleged criminal street gang in Fulton County, Georgia, known as Young Slime Life or YSL. The members and associates of YSL, they move like a pack with Jeffrey as its head, quote unquote. Fulton County Deputy District Attorney Adrian Love alleged during opening statements. The Grammy winning rapper, whose legal name is Jeffrey Lamar W., is facing gang related charges in a sweeping RICO indictment in Fulton County, Georgia. The rapper was among 28 individuals charged, but is now standing trial with 5 co defendants after several of those indicted took plea deals, while the judge ruled that others will be tried separately. I have been keeping up with this trial. I think they're on day 4 now. I'm not a fan of RICO charges, racketeering, conspiracy charges. I say that because a team, an organization, a business, a group, a label, and to not use this word lightly, a gang, all are pretty much the same thing until criminal activity is entered into play. Sorority, fraternity, secret society, all these are the same shits until the criminal element is introduced. With that being said, I feel like RICO trials are far too broad to convict a person because another person or persons claim you are all acting as one gang because you are a record label, which of course you make music. They just said Grammy winning rapper. So this is not just any rapper. So of course his entourage, his team will move together as such. But what I'm getting at is simple. Any court of law could say that same movement with all those groups, outfits, what have you that I named, can all be clustered into a RICO given legal terms and allegations. That's all I'm gonna say on that right now. Obviously, free Young Thug. I am nowhere near insightful enough on any side, the state side or his side, to know what the fuck's going on. Because to me, YSL has always been young stoner life. And I think he's changed it a little bit after that to the what they were saying, young slime life. But YSL, besides the designer company, always was young stoner life to me. I mean, he made a whole song. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. Like, I don't know. And obviously, as a entertainer, I don't want to hear, and rapper and writer, I don't want to hear that somebody is on court and what they wrote could possibly get them sent up the fucking river. Like, that's like saying the people that write movies, horror movies, crime movies, they need to be guilty because they wrote the movie. Like, stop. I think we're getting a lot of fact and fiction misinterpreted or something. Like, the guy's an entertainer. Like, his entertainment should not coincide with a fucking trial that could sink his ass for many, many, many years. I think the state of Georgia is doing an awful job trying the case, wasting a lot of taxpayers' dollars. And if a mistrial is granted, I will not be surprised at all. Moving on. Travis Scott smacked with a 100K tax lien. Travis Scott allegedly owes more than 100K in back taxes, according to legal documents obtained by The Blast. The California Franchise Tax Board hit him with a six-figure tax lien. The Epic Records artist was accused of owing 106K in taxes for 2021, the same year of the Astroworld tragedy. Scott was warned of the interest and fees he would incur if he did not pay the debt. Scott must deal with the tax lien while facing multiple lawsuits for the Astroworld tragedy. A grand jury declined to indict him on criminal charges for his role in the infamous event, which left 10 people dead and hundreds injured. He spoke about the strategy. Some words I just can't pronounce. Let's try it for a third time. He spoke about the tragedy in a November interview with GQ. Scott released Utopia in July. The album was his first solo project since the 2018's Astroworld. Utopia debuted at number one on the Billboard 200, and it was Scott's third number one album of his career. No real take on this one, as I despise taxes, and I feel like America taxes us 8 ways before we take one shit. Yes, 8 ways. Let's say you smoke cigarettes. You're paying a tax not only in sales, but also for the fact that you smoke a cigarette. Yes. And you also need gas to go get that cigarette, and you're getting taxed on that gas as well. You also need that car, so you're also getting taxed to have that plate. And also, there's tax on that insurance that you legally has to have. Destro Kid numbers going stupid. Appreciate that plug, Nug. Don't know if that helped or not, but it's up. Nah, I've been with Destro Kid since I left. Who the one that and I'm gonna get back on the Travis Scott shit, but my partner just said something in the chat. I've been with Destro Kid. Papoose, I think, is over the other one. Is it something core? TuneCore. That's who I was with. I was with TuneCore. Didn't receive one fucking check. I felt like something ain't right. I know I ain't the hottest, but I know I should receive something. So I left TuneCore, and I was been with Destro Kid, I guess, since then. And I mean, I periodically get statements and checks, and in March I got to re-up with them. I think it's gonna be like $24.99. But yeah, they put your music everywhere. They get your statements. They show you where your streams come from. Yada yada yada, all that good shit. And yeah, I mean, I still don't make hellified money off my music, and I would prefer to sell it directly, but to have it distributed by me just uploading it to them and it's everywhere, I'm with it. I'm gonna fuck with them again. Destro Kid definitely, like I said, by March, I hope I have the EP wrapped up. So when I get ready to repay them, I could send them the graphics and send them the 6 songs and see how we go do this 100 song verse thing. Because like I said, I'll prefer to just sell 100 verses on a thumb drive for real. Like, I mean, digital great, but having them hard copies or something hard copy where somebody could just give me $10 for 100 verses, shit. I ain't worrying about who distributing it and all that. You want 100 verses for $10? Here you go, right here on this thumb drive. Thank you. Have a nice day. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Not nothing over 3 figures, and I'm just keeping it real. And I ain't talking the business, but we got to promote what we got and let people know who we are. And that's what this podcast about too, on the slick. Cause like, yeah, we could be getting some money off this shit. And I do have a lot of mixtapes that I put out there and shit like that. But at the same time, without people knowing you and you not being a household name, bro, it ain't that much bag for us in terms of the unknowns. Like, we got the talent. We been had the talent, but we still the unknowns. And that's just pretty much how it go. But no, to touch on the Travis Scott thing, just in closing, America taxed the shit out of everybody. All y'all motherfuckers get taxed, including me. But I'm the only one that say something. All the rest of y'all quiet as fuck. Just go get taxed and don't say shit. If everybody opened up their fucking mouth, maybe we could have a tax revolution that's really needed in this country because we are overtaxed. So with that being said, the feds go get their money, but fuck the feds because all they want to do is not only tax you, but use your tax money to fuck over you. Just my opinion. Moving on. Young Thug trial disrupted after jurors' faces exposed. Rumblings of a mistrial began with testimony was dramatically interrupted on Wednesday while Detective B was on the stand after cameras in the Atlanta courtroom briefly broadcast jurors' faces. According to Law and Crimes, Kathy R., Judge Earl Glanville appeared very angry and called all attorneys back in chambers after discovery of the mishap. After about an hour, the judge confirmed an inadvertent recording of some of the jurors on the front row, citing security issues. He asked if the media were willing to not show Detective B's testimony. Judge Glanville stopped short of calling a mistrial, and all parties agreed to media recording only the audio of the detective on the stand. The issue arose when the live feed broadcast some of the jurors' faces as the detective made his way to the witness stand. The camera angle shifted and briefly showed some of the jury members in the front row. Recordings were swiftly shared online, and social media users began identifying alleged members of the jury. I mean, that's another fucking story that I could have put in. I can't make this shit up. Like, y'all accidentally showing the jurors' faces, bro. That's very dangerous. That's grounds for a mistrial. That is, again, very horrible handling of this trial by the state of Georgia, in my opinion, from the beginning to the end. And there must be a mistrial, in my opinion. Moving on. JayZ sparks new album speculation with Book of Hove auction. JayZ fans are getting excited that a new album might be on the way from the legendary rap titan, which they think a new auction is alluding to. On Wednesday, November 29th, people revealed that Jay in the Brooklyn Public Library auctioning off a piece of his Book of Hove exhibit, a trophy case that highlights each of his albums. It will come with the Grammy-winning rapper's autograph, and all proceeds will benefit the Brooklyn Public Library. But though JayZ has released 13 albums throughout his career, there is a 14th slot in the case that's been left blank. It follows his most recent albums, 2017's 444. During his interview with Gayle King last month, Hove was asked about the prospect of him returning to the studio and recording a new album. He replied by saying that any new material would need to have substance and impact people's lives in order for him to share it with the world, rather than being a throwaway collection of tunes. I already used the word retirement. I can't do that ever again, he said. I'll say I want to make music, but it has to be something important. I don't want to just make a bunch of tunes. That's not going to serve me. It won't feed me, first of all. I have to be saying something important. It has to mean something, you know? It has to mean something to a larger society, unquote. Pretty similar to what I was just saying about me returning to do another album, except for the fact that I will be doing I will be doing a bunch of tunes, but there will be what we call reference tracks. I already got a producer sending me samples where I will go into the studio and literally do songs that I know I will never want to put out. Now, while me doing these songs and getting my feet up under me, while doing these songs, if some gems do happen to arise, obviously, boom, we're going to use them. But I returning not because I feel like I need to say something that's larger than life. I'm returning because I miss fucking rapping. I miss studio time. I miss writing. I miss recording. I miss that part of myself. That's why I'm returning wearing the 4-5. Like, I miss that part of me. Like, I got a slick mouth. Like, I don't care what you might think of me as a podcaster. You know, I'm new to the podcast thing, but I've been rapping for real since I was like 12, 13. Then my first damn like demo at 16, 17. And from there, it's just been probably of all those years combined, studio time combined, if it's not a good 3 years of just me in the studio rapping, it might be more because I'm definitely a heavy marijuana smoker at times. So my timelines don't meet up with actual timelines a lot. But I spent a lot of time in the studio and in studios and recording. And that's like my element. Like, imagine if somebody said, name your safe space, but you can't ever go back to your safe space, or you left your safe space because you felt like, fuck it, you too old and you still ain't discovered why the fuck am I still rapping? And then 5 years later, you wake up like you still won't rap because fuck, this is who you are. The leopard can't change his stripes type shit. The tiger can't change his stripes type shit. The zebra can't change his stripes type shit. Like, I'm a rap artist. I gotta do that. Like, that's the whole thing. But not trying to go off on my own tangent. I do want to talk about Jigga because if Jigga come back and do a album, I think it would be with his wife and or daughter before he come out with just an album with just him. And he may use that album and say, well, if me and B album da 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 da, I'm gonna come up and do this, do one more. I could see it running like that. I really can. I don't know. I would be up for a 14th JayZ album. Jigga is not my favorite rapper, but Jigga is one of the top. You know, easy for me. You know, you got Pac for me. You got Rakim for me. You got JayZ for me. You got Cam for me. These are rappers that I look to and I fuck with, you know. So Jay is obviously one of them. So I would love to hear a new project, but I think it's gonna be him and B doing a project, and then he'll do a project depending on how that project do. Moving on to sports. I know I've been on a couple tangents. But at the same time, shit, this show is my take on shit. So sometimes that's not what I wanted to hear. We'll have to deal with that later. But anyway, yeah, I do this podcast because it's something that gets me away from my job and just the stress of my job and life. But yeah, sports news. Sorry, Bills Von Miller turns himself in after warrant issued over alleged assault. Thursday, after an arrest warrant was issued for allegedly assaulting a pregnant woman, the Glen Heights, Texas Police Department in suburban Dallas confirmed that Miller turned himself in late in the afternoon to face a charge of third-degree felony assault of a pregnant woman, which is punishable by 2 to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. He was booked into the DeSanto Trial City Jail on a $5,000 bond and released a short time later. The Dallas Police Department had earlier confirmed a warrant, which was initially reported by WFAA in Dallas on Wednesday at 11. Dallas police responded to a major disturbance call when the preliminary investigation showing that Miller and the woman got into a verbal argument and that he allegedly assaulted her. Per the affidavit for the arrest warrant obtained by ESPN, the woman and Miller had been in a relationship for 7 years. She told police officers that she was 6 weeks pregnant. The NFL has also released a statement. We are aware of the matter and have been in contact with the club. We will follow all legal developments. We have no further comment at this time. Miller, who's 34, was under investigation in 2021 by police in Parker, Colorado, but no charges were filed, and the subject of the investigation and potential charges were not publicly shared. The pass rusher signed with the Bills in 2022 on a 6-year, $120 million contract. He has played 19 total games with the team, including 8 this season, as he's coming off a right ACL injury. The Bills are currently on their bye week. Shit. Getting arrested on your bye week, definitely not good for you, Miller. Obviously, no one wants to see anybody in jail. No one wants to see anybody in trouble with the law. But if the girl, lady, female called the police, it was probably you putting your hands on her. And again, it's all alleged until it's court time or y'all can get it swept up under the rug, hopefully. But, sir, please try to live a better life. I don't know what was the issue. That's not my problem. I just report the stories. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to see a $120 million contract on a 6-year deal be thrown away by such antics. You're already pretty much at the twilight of your career being 34. You even living out that contract is not even viable. Being healthy, honestly, that'll put you at what, 40? Like, bro, not a good thing to just throw it all away, honestly. And I don't know what happened. And again, I don't want to know. I just report and, hope for better outcomes for everybody. Moving on. Maverick Carter, the manager for Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and a business partner of his, told federal agents in 2021 that he had bet on NBA games through an illegal bookmaker. The Washington Post reported Thursday. In his admission in November 2021, Carter told federal agents that he could not remember placing any bets on the Lakers and denied placing bets for others, according to a report summarizing an interview that was reviewed by the Post. In 2021, and before 38 states and the District of Columbia legalized sports betting, Maverick Carter was interviewed a single time by federal law enforcement agents regarding their investigating into Wayne Knicks. Adam Mendensaul, a spokesman for Carter and James, said in a statement to the Post, and I quote, Mr. Carter was not the target of the investigation. He cooperated. He was never charged and never contacted again on the matter. According to the report reviewed by the Post, Carter said he placed approximately 20 bets on football and basketball games over the course of a year, with each bet ranging from 5 to 10K. The NBA prohibits players, team officials, and league officials from betting on league games, and the National Basketball Players Association also includes agents in its role, but business managers are not included by either group. So, to sum it all up, Mr. Maverick Carter did make illegal bets, but he is not in jeopardy of being in any trouble because, again, he's a business manager and they're not included in the group that the NBA prohibits gambling or betting on league games. I am a gambler. I bet. I've been honestly betting before it became legal, so I'm definitely no one to judge. It is now legal to place bets, and currently I have a parlay for championship weekend that I really hope hits, and we'll just see what happens. Moving on. Should Alabama upset number one Georgia on Saturday in the SEC championship game? The conference could be on the outside looking in when the four college football playoff teams are selected Sunday. Alabama coach Nick Saban said Thursday that it would be a disrespect to the SEC if there isn't an SEC representing in the CFP. Speaking on the SEC championship game teleconference, Saban first said his focus was on Saturday's game, but when pressed on the issue, he reiterated what he said on the Pat McAfee show earlier Thursday. An SEC team should be in the playoff despite the Crimson Tide Bulldogs' outcome. The SEC has won the past four national championships: Georgia twice, Bama, and LSU, and six of the nine titles overall during the CFP era. Twice, two SEC teams have played for the championship. Bama beat Georgia in 17, and Georgia beat Bama in 2021. I think the SEC is one of the best conferences in the country, Saban said. I think Georgia is one of the best teams in the country. I think they're one of the best four teams in the country. I think if we beat them, we'll be one of the best four teams in the country. A lot, a lot in that. I agree. And as much as I'm not a Bama fan, if you know me, you know I root for Auburn and LSU when it comes down to college football. I agree. If Bama beat Georgia, which I don't think is going to happen, they should be in the college football playoff, one of the four teams. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. A lot of great college championship weekend matchups. As I mentioned, Alabama, they're playing Georgia in the SEC championship. Oregon versus Washington, and I think that one's tonight. Oklahoma State versus Texas is early tomorrow. SMU versus Tulane. Appalachian State versus Troy. Louisville versus Florida State. Michigan versus Iowa. A lot of nice championship matchups. And obviously, the best team that day will win. My lame ass Saints. I mean, we playing the Lions, and from all accounts, most people agree that the Lions is going to kick our ass. So the Falcons, they got the Jets. The Cardinals, they got the Steelers. The Panthers, they are playing the Bucks. The Colts versus the Titans. The Dolphins versus the Commanders. The Broncos versus the Texans. The 49ers and the Eagles, that's a huge game. Everybody kind of waiting on that one. The Browns got the Rams, and the Chiefs versus the Packers. And on Monday Night Football, the Bengals go up against the Jaguars in what should be a good game, even though Joe Burrow is out for the season. Moving on. In a segment I like to call I Can't Make This Shit Up News. A couple in Beijing, China, were appalled to learn that they have been drinking toilet water for 6 months. Yes, toilet water. After moving into their new apartment, a man who refers to be referred to only as Mr. Tan and his unidentified girlfriend began experiencing strange health issues shortly after their move in May. Both developed an unexplained cough, while Tan even claimed to lose hair and develop acne. When Tan realized he hadn't paid a water bill in 6 months, and yet the $1,400 a month rental continued to receive water, he began to get suspicious. He ran some tests with their water meters and noticed something wasn't right. When the couple ran water in the apartment, the number on the meter didn't increase. Deciding it was time to consult the pros, the couple called a plumber. That's when the shocking discovery was made. An extra pipe that had been gone unnoticed allegedly linked the toilet and tap water pipes. And for 6 months, the couple was horrified to discover all the water in the apartment had been toilet water. Tan and his girlfriend had been drinking, bathing, and cooking with this water. Luckily, the plumber was able to ratify the problem immediately and the pipes were fixed. But the couple claimed to experience adverse effects on their health and well being for a half a year. Tan is seeking monetary damages from the rental firm, as the unidentified company argued that some tenants opted to source water from a nearby well. I can't make this shit up. Shitty news and definitely shitty water and health. That's a crazy story. I can't make this shit up. Strange but true. We've come to the end of the show. I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. Our last segment, as always, I like to leave y'all with a little history in a segment I call This Day in History. This Day in History is a very special segment to me because I am a degreed historian. Graduated from Huntington College 2002 after 5 of the best years of my life with a degree in history and a minor in political science. So yes, I am not only a history buff, I love history and everything about it. Every day I try to make history. Side note. But this day in history being, I did my show notes last night, would be for November 30th, not December 1st. Today is the 1st. So this day in history will be history in its own because it's yesterday in history. But on November 30th, 1803, Spain cedes her claims to the Louisiana territory to France. I am from Louisiana, so obviously that little historical fact touched me, as well as this next one, because I do have two. November 30th, 1982, Thriller. 6th studio album by Michael Jackson is released. Grammy Award Album of the Year for 1994, best-selling album of all time. Billboard Album of the Year in 1983. And I definitely own a copy of Thriller on vinyl. Was released. Michael Jackson will always be one of my biggest influences and one of the best and biggest entertainers I have ever seen in my life. Watching people faint, fall out, pass out just in his presence, not to mention the millions of people who bought his music worldwide, only solidified that he is and was and always will be the king of pop. Again, it's December 1st. I want to thank all y'all for joining me. I wanted to do an early show just to see how my views would differ from me doing evening shows and to also check the temperature in the room on a Friday before I get out and get my day started, which I do have a lot on the plate, which is another reason why I opted to do the show early. But I thank y'all for joining me. As always, I'm going to leave y'all with a little music. With that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed everything. God bless. Nug the narrator's out. Southpaw Sosay is in. I'm gonna leave y'all with one of my all-time favorites. It's actually a song called The Drofessional, and I split the song up by way of its 3 verses. So this one that I'm leaving y'all with right now is called The Drofessional Interlude. There's a Drofessional intro, and there's a Drofessional outro as well. But again, thank y'all for supporting. I love all y'all. I support all y'all who support me. If y'all ever need something from me, the email is right there. Hit me up. Let's network if we can. Let's grow. And again, enjoy the rest of y'all day and make the day better than yesterday, man. And I'm out. Nug the narrator. That's my take. Another episode's done.
without my pockets getting a little bigger. I got dreams, they more like nightmares. My shadow partner get me, I can feel the cold stairs. Big house, big truck, the max, somewhere far, far away from the crack. Away from the game, but I'm so hooked on stacks. And customers support my habit, so I love them for that. Labels don't wanna hear me, I see my future clearly. Don't wanna settle for them old 30 G yearless. Older heads talk about who they might have been. Youngsters argue about who a nigga tired of them. Fam on top this rap shit, name your place and price. Too loud and told your little lames was nice. I ride it like a poster, Kaiser taking over. Six wall soldier, no season, so I'm colder. Swish your sweet dreams, purple haze visions. All could be yours. Start hustling, stop bitching. I can't let me stay. Pass me dollars. Give a little richer. Professional, professional.